Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic that is close to my particular experiences of being a musician. But before we get to that, I want to say a huge thank you for two things. Number one, the channel has reached 50 subscribers, which is a big milestone for me. Thank you so much for that. Thank you to everybody who subscribed and watches my videos. I very much appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Number two is my most recent video about my equipment rack behind me and all of the stuff in it. I was kind of just going over what I use things for and what I like about each different piece of gear. That video has become my first 1,000 plus view video. So it's got over 1,000 views now. Thank you so much again to all my subscribers and everybody who watched that video, gave it a like, gave it a comment. Thank you so much. It really means a lot. But let's get into the topic of this video. So as you may have seen, I am left-handed. I play left-handed instruments. I tried initially to learn right-handed, but that went over very poorly. So I initially decided to just very early on make the switch and be left-handed guitar player. It just felt so much more natural to me, felt so much more effortless and smoother. So the problem with that, though, is we live in a very right-handed world. There's really hardly anything that's very specifically designed to be left-handed. It's certainly far better than it was back in the day. Say, back in like the 60s, 70s, even the 80s and stuff. Very few left-handed instruments. You had to either make do with what you had, or you had many musicians like Paul Simon, for example, who's left-handed but plays guitar right-handed. The reason Paul McCartney plays the famous Hofner violin, Beatle bass that we all know and love, is because it looked the same whether played like this or whether played like this. So it was symmetrical. That's what he liked about it. Obviously, eventually he had, a custom left-handed one made, blah, blah, blah. But that was really the only way to do it, And Jimi Hendrix, another great example. One of my absolute favorite guitar players, not just for the fact that he's left-handed, but also just he's an amazing player, as I'm sure you all know. But he plays Stratocasters, and he played them upside down. He played right-handed Strats, strung upside down for left-handed playing, and played them upside down. He was plenty big enough that he could have had Fender custom make him a left-handed Stratocaster or whatever, but he just preferred to play them like that. And that's what kind of gave him the unique sound. As you all know, well, I've got a Strat right here. So on a normal Strat, we've got the bridge pickup here that is angled. The bass side is angled closer to the nut and to the headstock, and the treble side is angled a little farther away. So it gets you a little bit more treble here, a little bit more bass here. When you flip these strings, but don't change the orientation of this pickup, what you're doing is giving a bit more treble to the low E string and a bit more low end, a little bit more softness in the highs to the high E string, which is very interesting. So his tone is kind of unique in that sense. The pole pieces are also different. So the pole pieces normally on the vintage staggered pickups, you've got the first two pole pieces here that are usually a bit lower, and then it kind of staggers up as you go. But because he flipped the strings upside down but didn't change the pickups or the pole pieces, the height of the pole pieces, I should say, he had a unique tone again because certain strings were, they either had higher or lower volumes and sensitivities, and so that also helped give him his unique sound specifically. So very, very interesting stuff. You know, again, would never have happened if, you know, he was just a regular right-handed player. And I'm not saying these are massive night and day differences here, but they did help contribute to his very unique tone, although that was just a small part of it. Mostly it's just his playing style and just how he approached the guitar. But I will say for me specifically, if I'm looking on reverb, for example, for an instrument, as I often do, because the new options aren't particularly great for me, I get to find some fairly unique instruments. Either it's stuff that, you know, maybe it doesn't have, you know, here's a Strat that doesn't have a neck, or, you know, here's a bass that doesn't have any pickups. My black bass that I use came as just a shell, basically. It had the neck, the body, and the bridge with the tuners, but it had no pickups, no strings, nothing like that, and had just a really hodgepodge mess of wiring in it. So I had the wiring all redone, put new pickups in, and really gave me the ability to kind of customize that instrument exactly how I wanted it to be, which if I was a right-handed player and that bass was right-handed and I happened to come across it, yeah, I might pick it up and try and play around with it, but it would have been a lot of work to do that when I could have just easily, you know, gone out and just found another right-handed bass that was very similar and just went with it and just found something that fit me automatically. I don't really have that luxury because there's a left-handed instrument out there. Chances are there's not going to be another one that's exactly the same that's also left-handed. So yes, it is a major disadvantage, but it's also, I see it as kind of a benefit. You know, let's take this Strat, for example. So this is a very unique guitar. This is a Fender made in Mexico body that someone has refinished in this really cool nitro lacquer here. There's a lot of checking, little chips in here and there. You can see, you know, kind of the undercoat. Very, very cool refin here, kind of like a copper, you know, a little bit metallic-y. So very, very neat finish on this. But when I got this, you know, this had some interesting wiring, kind of, again, like that bass, a little bit of a hodgepodge of wiring. The pickups were all right, but I wasn't really a big fan. So I swapped out the pickups, changed up the wiring, and now I've got a guitar that I really, really like. This neck is just, I think it's like an all-parts neck. I don't know if you can see, but there's no logo on the headstock. And yeah, it's a cool neck, cool body, really unique sound that I get out of this, and it's just a really cool instrument. Another example I have here is this. This is kind of my, like, you know, 59, 60, 61 Strat that I built. Again, it's like a parts caster. This is a Fender made in Mexico neck from the mid-90s. Rosewood fretboard, and again, these are fairly unique pickups. They've got flat pole pieces because I wanted to go with this particular pickup builder. However, the pickups that he makes come in staggered or flat pole, but he doesn't make a left-handed stagger version. So he just had me order the flat pole, which again gives me a little bit more of a unique sound, something I wouldn't have normally done, but it was a necessity thing. I wanted these pickups, had to be flat pole or the staggered. I kind of wanted a more uniform string balance, even string balance, so I went with these. Did up the wiring. This is a pick guard off a Squire, I think, that I've had for a while. And this body is not a Fender body. This is from MJT. I had this finished by them. This came straight from them. And yeah, this beautiful Fiesta red finish, all nitro, and just a really, really great color. This I did not have aged or distressed in any way, but you can see, from playing, there's little, chips and little dings here and there, little scuff there, but that's part of it. That's the battle scars. That's the kind of character of the guitar, and it shows the history of it. And I don't know if you can tell. It might be really difficult to tell, but it is checked, and that's all natural checking. That just happens over time with temperature swings and humidity fluctuations. And this is a really cool guitar, and it's unique, and it's something that I probably wouldn't have gone for if I was a right-handed player. All of this stuff I wouldn't have really needed to do. I wouldn't have needed to buy these specific pickups. I wouldn't have needed to throw a random neck that I had lying around on it because I happened to have it. So again, very cool. And I guess my takeaway from this whole thing is if you have, a disadvantage in your playing style, or you have some sort of, quirk that you have to work around, turn it into an advantage, turn it into a strong point, turn it into something that is unique, something that is close to you, and something that you really like. Many of you, I'm sure, are right-handed players watching this, but again, lefties like me don't really have the ability to buy, new instruments that are specifically what we want, because a lot of stuff you either have to special order, or they just don't make a left-handed version, or it's harder to get a lefty version, et cetera, et cetera. If you look at, the Sweetwater electric guitar or acoustic guitar section, and there's, thousands and thousands of them. But once you sort by left-handed, that number drops dramatically to well under 1,000, and it's just... yeah, it is unfortunate, but I understand, because the vast majority of people in this world are not left-handed, and yeah, it's just something we got to live with. But yeah, just wanted to put out this quick, kind of simple video, really just to send out that message. Play the guitars you want, make your instruments work for you, make them unique to you, and yeah, you will be more connected to your instruments, and you will enjoy them, and you'll feel a greater sense of, accomplishment in what you've kind of created for yourself. So that's it for today, and I will see you in the next video.